Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's get into the Matildas, guys. Big shout out to Barnaby Joyce too. If you saw this post, I think it was on Facebook. He threw it out there during the game, and he wrote in this on Facebook, in every country pub, city club, suburban home, they are doing this tonight, watching the Matildas. In Australia tonight, this is what's happening. The problem was, he did a scan of the pub he was in, and he showed the TV that was running, and it was not the Matildas, it was another game that was playing on the screen.
Now, it's the friendly game that they played before the World Cup. How can they make that mistake?
Because the pub said we don't have the old free-to-air broadcast. Sorry, guys. We don't have it.
We're playing an old one.
So they just, they got an old one from somewhere else.
The pub doesn't have Channel 7.
Didn't have free-to-air. It was in the middle of, out the back of, whoop, whoop.
Oh,
and
no.
unfortunately, the wrong game was on the screen.
Do you remember, there's a story of Russell Crowe doing that regularly? He always, whenever he has a movie, it doesn't matter where he is in the world, he sets up with the local hotel or the pub, Kate, and says, here is a copy of the Rabbitohs winning the premiership. Can you just put it on when I bring in...
Was it Ryan Reynolds?
The crew and everyone that works on the movie, and just make out that this is a live...
Are you serious?
And then Russell goes, guys, quick, everybody, tune in. This is live.
Got him.
This is the Rabbitohs, and it's the grand final back in Australia.
It was Gosling, confirmed by Tommy. It was Ryan Gosling. So Crow said to Gosling, come and meet me at the bar, Kate. Yeah. So they both sat there and they went, you wouldn't believe it. Rabbitohs are playing.
And it's live. And it's the grand final. Jeez, we should watch this, and Gosling was like, oh my gosh, they're winning.
I reckon he's going to score. Do you remember, Fitz?
So sneaky.
There was a game, there was West Coast versus Sydney, 2 grand finals in a row. And if you remember, I think West Coast won the first one, but it was year after year, consecutive years. And there were so many people that watched the replay of the year before the actual game started,
and thought it was the result.
Oh, no.
And then it got to right at the end where I think a Sydney player took a mark. And they went,
Leo Barrow.
Leo Barrow. They went, I've seen this before.
That's already mate.
They watched the whole game until that moment and went, hang on a minute.
It's a replay.
I've seen this before.
Damn it.
Can we also say on Courtney Vine, her Wikipedia page, she was the girl who kicked the winning goal against France.
In the penalty shootout.
Yeah, in the penalty shootout.
Ice in her veins.
Ice in her veins is what's been added to her Wikipedia. Her page is now under protection after editors kept adding things because it's free to update, of course.
It is.
She's now regarded on Wikipedia as the greatest Australian to ever be an Australian. The greatest legend to ever live in this country. Australia's best sports person ever.
Is that her writing that?
Oh, good question. Possibly a couple of family members. Also, just in breaking news, if you're floating around Darling Harbour tonight, Tumbalong Park, the FIFA Fan Festival tonight, Tones and I are playing.
Oh, this is great.
If you don't mind. And she's also doing the closing ceremony. So that'll be Sunday night. She's performing before the final.
She's just been announced as support act for Pink as well, hasn't she, Tones?
That's right.
That's great.
That'd be a big show. That would be a big show. But if you get
of
down, I've got a time for you, 6:50, Tumbalong Park, Darling Harbour tonight.
Well done.
She's performing.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.